Welcome back to the mathematics class, dear children. Hope all are safe and sound at home. In mathematics, we have completed 10 chapters, isn't it? So today, let's move on to yet another interesting chapter, which is chapter number 12, and the chapter name is Symmetry and Patterns. So children, this is the mind map for our video Symmetry and Patterns. So in this chapter, we would learn what is symmetry and about patterns. So patterns in addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. We would learn about coding and tessellations also. So children, what is symmetry? When do we tell that a figure is symmetric? If we can fold the figure through an imaginary line, and if one fits exactly on the top of the other, okay, then those type of figures or objects are said to be symmetric. Got it? Children, I have a leaf here, okay? So if I draw one imaginary line here, this forms two equal halves. That means this is a symmetric object, okay? If I take a ball and if I draw one imaginary line like this or like this, this forms two equal parts. That means this is symmetric. Or if I take a phone and if I draw one imaginary line like this, then a symmetry is formed. That means two equal parts is formed. Or if I take a glass and if an imaginary line is drawn, then two equal parts is formed. That means this is a symmetric object. Similarly, take any objects which you can find around you and find whether they are symmetric or not. So children, the imaginary line drawn is called as line of symmetry. Okay? So here I have a rectangle. Now, how many lines of symmetry can I form? Can form 1, 2. Two equal parts I can form with this line of symmetry and this line of symmetry. Okay? So, if I take a square, the square I can form 1, 2, 3, 4 lines of symmetry. I can either cut like this or like this or diagonally. That means 4 lines of symmetry can be formed. So if you draw a circle, then so many lines of symmetry can be formed. So children, there are some objects for which we cannot form line of symmetry. If I draw an imaginary line, then I cannot fold it into two equal parts. It overlaps. So there are objects which does not form any lines of symmetry also. So children, we learned some objects which are symmetric and which are not symmetric, isn't it? Now let's see our next topic, which is mirror image. You all have seen mirror, isn't it? So what you see there? You see your own reflection there, isn't it? See this shape, okay? If you see this shape in a mirror, it will look like this. So, is there any change? Same reflection is seen and they are identical. So, this is called as mirror image. So, children, our next topic is patterns. So we see different patterns even in our surroundings. What are they? It's like winter, spring, summer, autumn, and then again winter. There is a pattern, isn't it? So here we can see different patterns in the size, shape, symbols, numbers, letters, sounds, etc. So here I have drawn a square. So here you see there is increase in the size. So next will be a bigger square. If you see the pattern, you can easily understand what will be the next pattern. Here I have a symbol psi. Here I have one symbol, 2, 3, and next will be 4, then 5. So there is increase in the symbols. Here different shapes, circle, triangle, square, and next circle, triangle, square, and next it will be circle, triangle, square. We cannot change the pattern, so we know what will be the next pattern. Here numbers 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, and next will be 1, 4. So there is a pattern there. If we see alphabets, see there is A, B, B, C, C, and next will be D, D, E, E, like that. Or maybe increase in the numbers. So if the first number is 7 and next is 14, next 21. Can you guess the fourth number? 28. So there is increase in the number by 7. Or maybe sound. If you hear a sound like clap, and if you tap your feet, next clap, tap your feet. So what will be the next? Clap, tap your feet. So this is the sound pattern. So there are so many patterns like this, so which we can guess what will be the next. Okay. So children, now let's see patterns in addition and subtraction. Okay. Here I have a question, that is 1 plus 2 plus 3 up to 10. 11 plus 12 plus 13 up to 20. 21 plus 22 plus 23 up to 30. Okay. So here the question is, we should extend this to 2 more rows. And what will be the sum here? Okay. So here if you see, after adding all these numbers we got 55. And after adding 11 to 20 we got 155. And next from 21 to 30 when you add we get 255. Now if you observe these numbers, here there is an increase of 100 from this. That means this is nothing but 100 plus 55. If you observe this, this is nothing but 100 plus 155, isn't it? That means there is an increase of 100 everywhere. So our next row is 31 to 40, the sum of 31 to 40. So without adding, from this pattern we can understand that it is 355, because 100 plus 255 is 355. Now if you see this last row, 41 to 50. Okay, we need not add all these numbers. From this pattern we can easily understand it is 455, because this is 355 plus 100. So there is an increase of 100 in each row. So this is a pattern. Okay. Next, let's see one question from subtraction. Okay, here see, it's 95, 85, 75, 65, 55, and we should find rest of the numbers. So what pattern is followed here? Here 95 minus 85 is 10. Okay, 85 minus 75 is 10. That means there is a decrease of 10 everywhere. 75 minus 65 is 10, 65 minus 55 is 10. That means the pattern is decrease of 10. So what will be the next number? 55 minus 10. What is 55 minus 10? It is 45. And next, 45 minus 10, 35. 35 minus 10, 25. 25 minus 10, 15. 15 minus 10, 5. See? So this is how we should find the pattern. If you get some numbers like this, see if you can find a common difference there. So we can solve the problems like this. See here, I have a question. 4, 12, 36, 108, 324, and find rest of the numbers. So can you see any pattern here? 4 into something is 12. 4 into 3. 4 into 3 is 12. Now 12 and 36. 12 into 3 is 36. 36 and 108. 36 into 3 is 108. That means we got the pattern, that is multiply by 3. So each number is multiplied by 3. 108 into 3 is 324. Now 324 into 3 is, it is 972. 972 into 3 is 2916. And the next number, 2916 into 3 is 8748. So what is the pattern here? It's multiplied by 3. Each number is multiplied by 3 to get the next number. I have another question here. See the numbers: 256, 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2. There is a decrease. So it will be either division or subtraction. So can you find any subtraction here? Any pattern like that? No, right? So let's see with division. Here, if you observe, each number is half of the other. That means there is a divided by 2 everywhere. 256 divided by 2 is 128. 128 divided by 2 is 64. 64 divided by 2 is 32. 32 divided by 2 is 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. That means what pattern is here? Each number is divided by 2 to get the next number. So this is how we can find easily the numbers. If it is in a decreasing order, then it would be division or subtraction. If it is in increasing order, then it will be addition or multiplication. So children, we learned about symmetry and patterns. Now let's see about coding. What is this coding? This coding is used to send secret messages. Okay, so each alphabet or numbers or whatever it is replaced by some other alphabets or numbers or symbols. So if you send a message to another person, that person has to decode it and then understand what is in that. Okay, here I have written all the alphabets from A to Z. Okay, now I have given a different alphabet for the original ones. That means for A I will give Z, for B Y, C X, like that. I have changed all the English alphabets to another alphabets. So the person who receives or who get the words or the sentence or whatever it is, they should decode it. Now let's write mathematics with the newly formed alphabets. Okay, so for M I have given N. A, for A it is Z, and T, G, H, S, E, V, and again M, N, A, it is Z, T, for T it is G, again I, for I, R, again C, X, and for S it is H. So with the newly formed alphabets I can write mathematics like this. So you also try at home to write your name or any other secret messages using a newly formed alphabets. Children, I have written something here. Can you decode this? This is having 3 words in it. Okay? WRERMV, KILER, WVMXV, HXSLLO. So find what is this. Okay, children, we have learned about symmetry and patterns and as well as coding, isn't it? Now let's see tessellations. What is this tessellations? They are the patterns formed on a plane by repeating the shapes, same shape. Okay, here if you observe this figure, all the shapes are same and there are no gaps in between, isn't it? This plane is completely filled. So this forms a tessellate. Here if you observe the figure, there are circles and in between gaps are there, isn't it? So this does not form a tessellate. So what is tessellations? They are the figures which is formed on a plane such that there is no gaps or overlapping. So children, in this chapter we learned about symmetry and patterns, about mirror image, and in patterns we learned patterns in addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. We also learned about coding and tessellations, isn't it? So try to find out some symmetric objects around you. Okay, take care, bye.